my name. I don't have to give you my name.
Okay, why are you acting like this, man?
Because I'm working out and you're bothering me. I'm being bothered on a fucking normal run.
Because you match the description of somebody that just choked your girl.
I'm not getting in the car. I didn't do anything. I'm not...
This video starts with a police officer of the San Antonio Police Department responding to a 911 call a female victim made about a black man assaulting her. She gave no more details other than the perpetrator was black, wearing green, and kind of had a beard. It would be no surprise to you that this is going to end up costing an innocent man his freedom. The overall guiding principle that is going to be discussed in this video comes from the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which protects individuals against unreasonable searches and seizures. When an officer stops an individual, this is considered a seizure, which is a big deal. As the officer leaves to search for the suspect, he spots Mathias and pulls up to him in his patrol vehicle. He asked for Mathias's name, telling him that he fits the description of a suspect he is looking for.
Hey, what's your name, brother? Well, you kind of match the suspect in the description of what I'm looking for. What's your name? What's your name? Why? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Okay, well, like I said, just come here. We're trying to figure this out, man.
Mathias has a constitutional right to remain silent, whether or not he is guilty. He is not compelled to disclose his identity to the police officer, despite the common expectation that individuals must identify themselves when asked by an officer. The legal reality is much more complex and situational. This right to silence extends to providing one's name in circumstances where the information could be self-incriminating. Interestingly, this foundational right appears to consistently astonish many police officers when invoked during a stop. It may come as a surprise, given that the public discourse and portrayal of law enforcement practices often imply an obligation on the part of the stopped individual to answer all questions, including providing their name. However, the legal right to silence exists precisely to safeguard individuals from the potential misuse of their own words or information in legal proceedings against them.
I'm giving you my name. I don't have to give you my name.
Okay, why are you acting like this, man?
Because I'm working out and you're bothering me. I'm being bothered on a fucking normal run.
Because you match the description of somebody that just choked your girl.
I don't care what description. I just want to do my damn run.
All I need to know is your name. That's it.
Damn, dude. I'm gonna fucking do a damn run.
Mathias, like any person who believes in their innocence would, is clearly agitated and distressed by the circumstances he finds himself in. He voices his frustration, stating that he was merely engaged in his routine workout when he was approached by law enforcement. He wasn't causing any trouble, nor was he involved in any suspicious activity. His frustration was solely based on the fact that he was interrupted and questioned because he seemingly fit a rather vague description of a suspect. This situation indeed raises some important and difficult questions. It underscores the complexities and potential pitfalls of police work when the only available description of a suspect is unspecific and could match a vast number of citizens. After all, how accurate or fair can such a description truly be? For instance, let's imagine a hypothetical situation where a group of black men is employed by the city for a construction project. As part of their job, they're required to wear standard safety attire, which includes green reflective jackets, the same kind that Mathias was wearing during his workout. Should all of them be detained?
You're not getting that information.
Okay, well then you're going to be detained right now, okay?
Okay, for what?
For being a suspect in family violence until I figure out who you are. Okay. I'm gonna put you in the back of my car, okay? Because you want to act like this.
No, I'm gonna be right here.
No, you're not. You're going to the back of my car until I get
right
this
here. I
figured
didn't
out.
do anything. I want to sit right down in the grass.
In the officer's defense, he can make a brief investigatory stop of a person, often known as a Terry stop. But what is a Terry stop, you might ask, is a brief detention of a person by police on reasonable suspicion of involvement in criminal activity, but falls short of probable cause in order to arrest. This precedent was established by the Supreme Court in 1968. One requirement is that the officer must be able to point to specific and articulable facts that would indicate this to a reasonable person. In this case, the officers could allege that the vague description from the woman who was assaulted did make this man a suspect, thus making the stop legal.
You guys are going to go in the car. You want to be acting like
Why?
this.
I'm not acting any way.
All I need to know is your
I
name.
don't
That's
need to give that
it.
to you. I don't need to give you any information.
Okay, you're going to sit in the car, okay? Until we get this all figured out, okay?
The officer is trying to get Mathias into his police patrol, but Mathias, thinking that things will clear out soon, wants to remain outside and sit in the grass. Now, he is already in handcuffs. I think that letting him stay outside is a good compromise given the vague circumstances, but the officer refuses and wants to display his power over this innocent black man.
Because you don't want to act like
No, don't tell me anything that I'm doing wrong. I'm not doing anything that I'm doing
All
wrong.
I need to know was your name.
So,
That was
did
it.
I break a rule? Do you know that did you see me do anything?
Match the description
Did you
of
see
a
me
suspect.
do anything?
I just talked to my complainant who said that
Okay.
she was assaulted.
Okay, go get her. Go get her, bring her
let's
here
go.
then.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere.
Just sit
Right
inside
here.
then.
I don't want to sit inside.
Just sit
I want to
inside.
sit right here. I want to be wherever you got me at. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything.
Mathias is right that he has done nothing wrong and requests for the victim to come and identify him. It's not uncommon for police to bring a victim or a witness to the scene of a crime to identify a suspect. This is known as a show-up identification procedure. It often happens shortly after a crime has occurred and a suspect has been detained nearby. The victim or witness is asked to look at the detained individual to see if they can identify them as the perpetrator. However, this practice can be controversial due to concerns about its reliability and fairness.
You don't have any kind of ID or anything on you.
Don't touch me, bro. I'm consent to a search.
I'm not searching you. I'm just
You're
fixing
touching
you.
me. No,
Different.
you're not fixing me. You're touching my shorts and going to my...
Why are you acting like this, man? All
Why
I
do you
need to know
think?
is your name.
Why do you think?
Because I just got a family violence call and my
Okay.
victim said that you match the suspect's
Okay.
description.
The officer tries to check Mathias's pockets for his identification. He clearly states that he doesn't consent to a search. The rules for searches during a Terry stop are more limited and typically only allow a pat down for weapons. The officer claimed he was not searching Mathias, but he did try to access his left pocket, so obviously he is lying. I don't understand if officers forget they are recording their own interactions with the public. The officer is shocked that Mathias is acting in this angry manner, but the fact is, if the situation was reversed and your constitutional rights violated, you'll be upset as well.
A green shirt? Like the grass? Okay, and then what kind of pants did he have? Black basketball shorts? Does any of that match then?
Everything matches except for the basketball shorts. They're white with a black stripe, and then he's got like a pretty good sized beard.
As clear as day, it can be heard that the suspect is wearing a different color of shorts than Mathias, and that his beard doesn't fit the description either. Why are these officers trying so hard to make Mathias the suspect? Either he is or he isn't. You can't get new information and ignore it to fit your narrative.
So I don't want to have to do this, but all we had to do, drive over
All
there.
you had to do was leave me the fuck alone.
Why do you say that?
Why?
Because
I
you
didn't
match
do
a
anything.
description of something.
Yeah, I'm sure I do.
You want to look at my key card?
Yeah. I'm sure I match the description.
Okay, where you gonna get in the car? Come on.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
not getting in the car. I didn't do anything. I'm not.
Come on. Get in the car. Get in the car.
A dispute ensues based on the fact that Mathias doesn't want to drive to get ID by the victim and instead asks for the victim to come and see him. The officers try to push him inside the patrol car, to which Mathias resists. In the process of getting him inside the car, an officer claims to have been kicked in the face by Mathias, but there is no proof of this ever happening. Within 3 minutes, 7 additional officers show up at the scene. Now overall, about 9 police officers against a single man in handcuffs. Like, don't you have any more crime to solve? By now, officers realize they have these machines that can take pictures and can be sent over the airways without having to physically go anywhere, and they decide to use these machines to take a picture of Mathias and send it over to the officer who is with the victim. This technology is called a cell phone. Some might think that this incident could have easily been avoided if the victim just showed his ID, and these cops pointed this out as well. But they failed to recognize that he was just sticking to his constitutional rights, to which these cops took an oath to protect. You might disagree with how Mathias handled the interactions, but who knows if they would have believed him to begin with.
Okay, the fact of the matter remains, you still had a lawful reason to contact him because he matched the description, he failed the ID, and 2 officers got assaulted. So you got assaulted, who else got assaulted?
I mean, I don't know if I got assaulted.
Yeah, scratch?
Yeah, you got Sir, you got assaulted.
Okay, so CSI is going to photograph you, try to photograph him.
Even after the victim told the officers that Mathias was not the suspect, they still found a way to get him. Even the arresting officer is not sure if he got assaulted or not. These officers made up their mind. Mathias was guilty of something and charged him with assaulting 2 police officers.
But we still don't have him identified.
We don't know who he is. That's oh my god, it's so frustrating.
Yes, officer, it is so frustrating that we have rights and you're used to bullying people into identifying or complying with your demands even when you are wrong. If we can all just do as you please every time, your job would be so much easier. Now this should have been the end of this video, but something amazing happens now. The officers are going to try to gather witnesses to what happened from local businesses in the area.
Do me a favor. All right, Bruce, can I have that gentleman leave? I'll talk to you guys outside, but I didn't like what he was doing.
Why? What was I doing there?
It's my opinion. I'm a lawyer. Leave my business, please, so I have to call the real cops.
This business owner, who is a lawyer, refused to provide the officers with his name, his date of birth, or any information they requested of him, just like Mathias refused. I guess this officer must call his colleague back into action and throw this guy in jail as well for acting suspicious and not cooperating. He even asked the officer who arrested Mathias to leave his business, called him a criminal, and threatened to call the cops on the cops. This hero recorded the incident and has sent the video already to the mayor, the news media, and posted the recording of the video even before the cops went into his business. I wish we all have someone that has our back like this gentleman did for Mathias. By posting his recording of the incident, the San Antonio Police Department was forced to also publish this officer's body camera due to the extreme pressure from the public for answers about this incident.